Hi, it's TK with the weekly words of encouragement. For this installment of our Fruit of the Spirit series, we will discuss patience. As we allow the Holy Spirit to guide our lives, He will develop within us the fruit of tolerating delays or trials. To be completely honest, patience is a struggle for me. As I've gotten older and as I've matured in my faith, I recognize my impatience is a reflection of 1, my desire to be in control, and 2, my lack of trust in God. Looking back, I can see how my impatience caused me to make decisions that were not in line with God's plan for my life. Had I just waited on God, I may have avoided some difficult situations. But those situations taught me an important lesson. God works in His time, not mine. I see myself in Sarah's story. She tried to control an outcome which may have reflected her lack of trust in God. We meet Sarah and her husband Abraham in Genesis chapter 11, and we're told Sarah was unable to have children. But God told Abraham he would have many descendants. Sometime later, God reiterated His promise when He told Abraham he would have a son. I imagine Abraham wondered how he would have a son and many descendants if Sarah was unable to have children. Well, Sarah stepped in and impatiently took matters into her own hands, offering her servant Hagar to Abraham so Hagar could bear a child on Sarah's behalf. Not surprisingly, that plan triggered feelings of contempt and resentment for the parties involved. Clearly, having a child through her servant wasn't God's plan for Sarah, though God still blessed Hagar with Ishmael and a promise of many descendants. And after the drama with Hagar, Sarah was still childless and seemingly too old to bear children. Several years had passed, but God reaffirmed His promise that Sarah would have a son named Isaac. Here's the thing, God had already promised to make Abraham into a great nation with many descendants, but Sarah didn't want to wait for God's timing. She decided to handle the situation on her own terms. Her impatience caused pain to Hagar, and truth be told, Sarah caused herself pain because she resented Hagar's pregnancy. But God still kept His promise, and Sarah gave birth to Isaac when she was about 90 years old. God's timing is always perfect because He is perfect. So we can heed the words of Psalm chapter 37, verse 7. Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for Him to act. Not only should we wait for the Lord, but we should wait patiently, meaning we should recognize that God is in control so we don't have to handle things on our own. If we had time, I could recount several challenging circumstances in my life that might have turned out differently had I just waited on God to act, rather than taking matters into my own hands. The job I accepted, even though I knew the work environment was toxic, because I thought if I didn't take it, I might not find another one. The unhealthy relationship I maintained because I thought having an emotionally unavailable man was better than being alone. The necessary purchases I made using my credit card because I didn't trust God to provide the resources I need to take care of my son. Maybe you can recount your own experiences with impatience. I want to encourage all of us with the words of Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. So let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. Though the word patience is not used explicitly in this verse, I believe this verse embodies the concept. When you sow, you don't immediately reap. Rather, you must wait patiently for the seed to grow. And at just the right time, the seed will sprout with some delicious fruit, yummy vegetables, or beautiful flowers. In the same way, we should wait patiently for the Lord to act in our lives. And at just the right time, He will produce a harvest of blessings. King David knew firsthand what it meant to wait patiently for the Lord. In 1 Samuel chapter 16, he was anointed king, but he didn't ascend to the throne immediately. Instead, for years, he endured persecution at the hands of his predecessor, Saul. In the midst of painful circumstances, David wrote, "I waited patiently for the Lord to help me, and He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the pit of despair, out of the mud and the mire. He set my feet on solid ground and steadied me as I walked along. He has given me a new song to sing, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see what He has done and be amazed. They will put their trust in the Lord." Like David, we can wait patiently for God to act in our lives. We can be still and know that He is God. I pray you're able to exercise patience this week, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.